Hello guys, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench, and it's late in the evening and it's still Tuesday the 28th of September 2021. So this is my third video of the day and it's that time of day as well, so yes. Right, by popular demand I did a video, showed you the things I've been buying, mentioned that I got this kit because it's a plane I love, and a lot of you have said, come and see a review of it please. And I think it's a couple, at least one has said they've never heard of this manufacturer. So it'll be quite interesting to show you this because I've got 4 of their kits. Yeah, I've got the Yoo-Hoo, the Owl, the Hs-129. And then I've got the Hs-129, which is the flying wing. And I've also got the TA-152. And they are Zoukei-Mura, this is the name down here, Zoukei-Mura. They tend to be over-engineered. They are very, very complex kits. They are very, very well detailed, and they have a lot of detail, like, you know, you get fuel tanks in the wings and you get all the radio gear in the fuselage, and then you close it all up. So it's more like a builder's model than a display piece. Certainly with the Hs-129, the flying wing, you get these clear panels so you can show everything through, but some of the clear panels are frosted so you can't see much through there anyway. So I don't really understand the logic, but it's more of a builder's kit, learning how an aircraft goes together, learning where all the bits and pieces are, and you'll see when I do a review of this that you get lots and lots in the box. You can see by the size of the box, it's huge. The actual box here, I am at, it is 21 inches wide by just under 13 inches tall. So it's about 4 inches thick. It's a big old box. So this is the Zoukei-Mura Hs-129 B2R3 in 1/32 scale, and it is Super Wing Series number 17. It's available all over the world. If you're in America, I would suggest going to I think it's the Volks website. If you're in Japan, you get it from their website, the Zoukei-Mura website. But yeah, and you can get them from anywhere over here. I actually got this one from Edit Premium Hobbies. Yes, it's not advertised on his website, but I asked him if he could get me one, and he said yes, and he got me this. So if you want to get yourself one, by all means drop Ed an email and ask him the question, because I'm sure if he can get one, he's making an order with the supplier, I'm sure he will get you one. If he can't get you one, he will tell you he can't get you one and you can go elsewhere. But don't forget, if you go to Edit Premium Hobbies, it's NMB10, gets you 10% discount. So let's have a look around the box. You can see now how thick the box is. So it's all in Japanese on here, but don't worry about that because everything's in English inside. So you can see here's the built-up model. I think we only get one scheme with this, and it's quite an easy camouflage scheme to do. And then going across here, we've got some English and American health and safety stuff and that. And warning, you've got choking hazard, all the stuff they have to put on these days. Made in China, even though it's a Japanese company. Can't really show you the box end because the box is taller than where I've got the camera. So you can see the box end there. Here you go. It's just another image of the box front. And then here again, we've got all the pictures of the built-up model, sort of a la Revell style, and with all the Japanese writing underneath. And you can see we've got, you know, here we've got fully detailed engines. We've got a fully detailed cockpit. You've got fully detailed cannon and guns, and you know, underneath the belly and everything. And here we've got fully detailed undercarriage bays. You can see the cannon sticking out of the nose there. So all very nice indeed. So what we'll do is we'll get into the box and we'll have a quick look at what we got in there, and then we'll change all the lighting because obviously I've got issues with glossiness and everything. So we'll change all the lighting and go from there. Now, as I say, beautiful boxes. And you can see what we've got here is a box within a box. So we've got here an end opening, a side opening box. So it's all nicely packaged. Now the sprues are just thrown in the box. There's no separation cards. There's no foam wrapping like Trumpeter or whatever does. But it seems to have survived transportation, because every sprue is individually bagged and the box is pretty full. It's not like some of your Revell kits where you've got, you know, a box this size and it's only this half full, so they're all moving around, and you haven't got like Airfix with everything just chucked in a bag, or some Airfix kits. So yeah, nice to see. But you can see we've got lots of sprues. There's a clear sprue there, beautiful clear parts, so we'll put that to one side. And then we've got sprue there with some guns, we've got some wheels and undercarriage legs, an engine sprue, another engine sprue, bits and pieces of control surfaces, engine cowlings, more engine cowlings. It looks like we've probably got options for engine cowlings, because this is only a twin engine aircraft, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, there's 10 halves on there, and we've got 2 sprues, so we could probably build a 10 engined aircraft. Yeah, so there we go. So, and you can see in here we've got all our details for the inside, fuel tanks and bits and pieces. It's got like a radio shelf there, radio gear, you know, it's all sorts of stuff that gets hidden away, but it's great if you enjoy building and painting and detailing. Even though you're not going to see it, you know it's there. Got the fuselage halves there, and as you can see, very sectional. We've just got the sort of centre section of the fuselage there. Some greeblies and bits and pieces. So that's like engine cowlings or undercarriage bays, bombs, more guns, propellers and bits and pieces, control surfaces, engine side covers by the look of things. We've got a wing centre section there, so you can see even the wings are broken up into many different pieces. And then in here we've got a bag. Here which has got like some texture to it, and almost like wingnut wings, not quite as good as wingnut wings in my opinion. You may disagree, but I'll show you now. You get beautiful instructions, and as you can see what they've done, they've made this look aged, it looks old. It's like an old manual for the aircraft that you would have found in the Second World War. And you can see here February 1943 they've got down there. So yeah, I think this is in the instruction sheets, and then we've got our decal sheets on the back of there. So let's just have a look inside here. Let's close this box down, like a tabletop, so we can have a look inside here. So basically, take that bag off, which has got that, I don't know if it's intentional, but it's got that oldie look to it. So we've got our decal sheet there. So if we have a look at that first, so they're cartograph decals, Radu Brinzen. I mentioned in my last video, can somebody please tell me, somebody did suggest that apparently he'd passed away. I hope he hasn't, because I've met him and he's a lovely chap. So we've got our decal sheet there, so we've got all our German crosses. Obviously we have our swastikas there, which are split in half. We've got some stencil data here. We've got some walkway lines by the look of things down here, and we've got our cockpit and everything there. Let's get some lighting. Let's get some better lighting here for you now. So we've got our cockpit instrument panel and everything there. Now you can get aftermarket sets for these, but I think Zoukei-Mura have some kind of deal with Eduard. It's like Eduard make their photo etch sets for them. It's obvious when you see them, but I don't think Eduard market them under their own name. So if you want to buy them, you have to get the Zoukei-Mura ones. Probably worth doing. Probably worth getting some, you know, because it's a lovely clear glazed cockpit, and it's going to be quite a feature. But we've got all our gauges down here, you can see, for the side consoles, and all sorts of bits and pieces, and you can see we've got some data there and everything, which is all very nice. Why can't I get this light a bit better? There we go. So you can see we've got some lovely lovely stuff on there. Protective sheet to go on there. And then we've got window masks, which is always a nice touch to get window masks. So you've sort of got, you know, if you don't want to go the photo etch route, it's all in the box. And then we've got a catalogue here, which is obviously Japanese, so it's backwards. It's not backwards, sorry, it's the other way round to the normal Western style. And you can see we've got the TA152 in 32nd scale. We've got that beautiful Torio. We've got another Torio there. We've got a Sky Raider. Got another Sky Raider there. They've got quite a range, and their 48 scale Phantoms are apparently something awesome. And then there's the 229 in 32nd scale. These kits tend to come and go. So if you see one and you like it, get it, because it will probably disappear. But then if you didn't get it, don't pay silly money on eBay, because they generally come back. But I've got that one and that one, and the 152, which is that one there, and obviously I've got this one here, which is the 129. So There we go. So instructions, what I'm going to do is turn the camera off, get myself better set up, and we'll have a look through these instructions, because just like Wingnut Wings, these are a major part of the whole experience of Zoukei-Mura. Okay, so we've got my beautiful Panther tank cutting mat here, which I use sometimes. It's from tankcraft.com, also available for premium hobbies down in Weston-super-Mare. Beautiful cutting mat. I don't use it for modelling, I just use it for reviews, because it just seems such a shame, although I've managed to get something on it there. It looks like some resin or something, but it just seems such a shame to use it, really. I know it sounds sad, but anyway. So right, onto the manual. Now, as I say, the manual in a Zoukei-Mura kit is very much like a Wingnut Wings kit. If you haven't seen Wingnut Wings instructions, go take a look on Scalemates, go and look at a Wingnut Wings kit, and you will find sometimes there's instruction manuals you can download. They are absolutely amazing. They give you lots of information on rigging and control lines and all the different colours and the different options and seats, and they'll give you hints and tips on how to paint wood and all that. Absolutely brilliant. And these are a close second behind them. They're not just like, you know, black and white Airfix. Well, Airfix are colour now, aren't they, with the red and everything. But they're not just like, you know, B2 goes to B3, and then the next stage you can see B3 is fitted to B2, and now you fit A4. It's nothing like that. It's really, really nice. You can see they take a lot of care and put a lot of time and probably a lot of money into producing these instruction manuals. So as you can see, as I said earlier, we've got this oldie fashion type paper, made to look old, made to look like it comes from 1943, and by golly, it seems to work. So you get into the book, and even though it's Japanese, they do like to put everything here in German, so it gives it a real proper sort of German feel. If you're a Luftwaffe fan, you're going to love this. So all this is in German, and then they got, you know, in English afterwards. They got Japanese before they've got English, which is quite cool. And then they've got all the history of the aircraft here. Now, if I can get it up close so you can read it, you can freeze frame, and then you can read the history of the aircraft there as you can see it. Okay, so freeze frame and read it now. Right, so there we go. Then they talk about the engines. So we got the AS4 is a Gnome Roan 14M, 700 horsepower engine. As I say, it's saying down here 14M is still not sufficient, but despite its compact size, it's only a 950mm diameter, so that's tiny, and only 400 kilograms. Its performance was remarkable improvement over the AS410. So obviously it had an AS410 engine first. Armament here, which is always interesting. You've got the Mark 101 30mm cannon. Maximum bomb load was only 300 kilograms. We've got an MG17 machine gun. There's two of those, and we've got the MG151 machine guns. I would suggest brass barrels for them because they'll look amazing. And we can see here from this side-on view what makes this plane so beautiful. It's like the Beaufighter, where you know, it's just all engines and everything, and there's nothing sticking out the front. It's incredible, and I love the look. I really do love the look. So now we've got some more history on the aircraft. You can see it's telling us all about it here, all about the internal structure, the cockpit. We've got the exterior shape. It's given us a skill level for each assembly section. So if you're building this with your family, maybe the younger modelers or the less experienced modelers could do the level 1s, and then your skilled modelers could do level 3s. Never noticed that before. But we've got information here about propellers, information about a landing gear, some master advice. Throughout this manual there are tips from our master builder who assembled and paints our display models. For more detailed advice, see Neko Kawabashi's chapter in the Zoukei-Mura concept note. You see, they're always trying to sell stuff. That's the other thing. They've got lots and lots of... They'll have resin bits and resin figures and books and God knows what to sell you. So really interesting if you want to go and buy all that. And you can see here teal, Tyler is part, okay? So you've got 3.1, which is engine assembly. You've got 3.2, which is cockpit. 3.3 fuselage, 3.4 wings. Final outfitting, and then you've got Tyler 4 and 5, which is your parts list and your painting and decals. So you can see proper, and then when you look down here, you've got, as you get with a manual or whatever, you've got your black lines down there, and then when you look down here, you've got your black on the pages there, so you can easily go straight to where you want to go. So if you want to start with the cockpit and you don't want to start with the engines, just go straight to part 2. So over the page, typical of Zoukei-Mura, they use Vallejo colours. Okay, I don't particularly like Vallejo paints, but that's the colours they use. But the beauty of Vallejo, very commonly known make from Spain, so basically easy to cross-reference. And many of the German colours like RLMO2, RLMO1, 65, 70, 79, you can see they're very easy to cross-reference in whatever paint manufacturer you want to use. We've got some important notes here. We've got some health and safety stuff. We've got all about nippers and using glue, tweezers and pin vise. They're telling you need a 1mm drill bit, so it's probably just the one size drilling here. Cut the parts you don't need. This is the legend, so this is all the different symbols they're going to use. So a green circle, you can see over here, we've got a green circle, that's going to tell us our part number. That little sign there is the paint number, so your little bottle. You've got the cementing position, which is coloured in blue. And then you've got cut the parts you don't need, so this is going to be cutting off parts you don't want to see. Warning notes, that's going to be take care, do not cement, decal number, and hole position and diameter. So this is telling you where you're going to drill a hole and the diameter of the hole, which is always a nice touch because it's nice to know what size you need to drill it. So what they do here, they start off by giving you an exploded diagram. So instead of just chucking you straight in and saying you're going to start here and do this and do this and do this and do this, this is the complete exploded diagram of the engines. Okay, so that's your complete exploded diagram of two engines. If you sort of draw a line through there diagonally, you can see that's one and that's the other. Okay, and you've got your mountings on there and everything. And these are the finished views of the engines all built and painted. So if you are stuck, you don't know where that Y section there goes, you can look at that and it will show you exactly where it goes. As I say, really nice instruction manuals. So then we're coming into our assembly, and we're starting here with assembling the rings, the cylinder rings, and it's showing us on here, cut the parts you don't need. So they're telling you to cut off these little sprue tabs which are helping it keep everything together. Align the pins and holes to assemble. So they've got red is the pin and blue is the hole. So I think they're showing us something here. Yeah, the red is the pin, red is the pin, blue is the hole. So that's what they're saying there. So really good instructions. It's helping newer modelers. I wouldn't say this is recommended for a beginner, but somebody with just a couple of kits under their belt, you know, they could probably have a go at this if they really use the instructions to their advantage. We've got our push rods going in here. We've got a propeller shaft going in there. It's telling us not to glue it. And again, here we've got the red going into the blue. So it's, you know, you've got to be careful on your orientation and stuff. Make sure it all goes together right. And then you've got the gearbox back cover going on there. And then we're fitting our intake manifolds. I never know whether to say intakes or exhaust, but here they tell us it's the intake manifolds. So don't go rusting them up or making them black or burnt or dirty. They'll just be clean. And it's showing you here, you've got, this is a diagram of how it all goes, and then you've got photographs here of how it all goes, and I'll tell you there, paint it with number 8. Then we've got the ring going on the back. This is going to be the intake ring, or engine mounting ring. And then showing you there how it's going to look when it's all on there. Then we've got the exhaust pipes. Again, showing us how it's all going together, and then they're showing us here how to paint it. That's how it's going to look when it's all done. So as you can see, very concise. Okay, then we've got auxiliary equipment. That looks like the intake. Looks like that's the intake, the carburetor or whatever. And then you've got that going on to the back there. So it's showing you again how it all goes together. And then you've got these ledges between the cylinders there. Engine cowl mounting plates, there you go. So that's what they're going to mount the cowls, and that's again showing you how it goes. Then your engine, adding the engine mountings to the rear, again showing you how it goes. And then it's telling you if you want to display the engine, if you want to exhibit it, you can. Now there are 2 engine sprues. I don't think you get an engine. I don't think you can have the engine displayed and have 2 engines in the aircraft. But yeah, it is not required for the model. So basically they're showing you which bits of sprue to cut out to make an engine stand so you can stand the engine on it. I guess if you want to have a little engine stand to put your engine on while you're building the model, then that would be a good touch. Now we're getting into the cockpit. Again, we've got this exploded diagram. That's everything how it goes together. And then they're showing you here the cockpit fully painted and assembled, and giving you all the details of how it's all going to go together. And then here we start the build. Careful, delicate parts. You know, lots and lots of little warnings. We've got to try and get the speed up here now. So cockpit floor and seat. And they're giving you an example here. Due to the Hs-129's triangular fuselage, its cockpit was extremely small and cramped, with almost all of the space in the cockpit was used by the pilot alone. To protect the pilot from an anti-aircraft gunning from the ground, the cockpit was encased with an armoured bathtub 12mm to 16mm thick. So there you go. Okay, and they're probably going to give us the bathtub. But you'll start to see now there's a lot of detail going in here that you probably won't see. So this is all going to be rudder pedals, and then we've got all our panels, side consoles going on here. Being careful with parts here, being careful with the parts here, painting up the knobs and everything you can see, and the levers. And then they're giving us two options for instrument panels, so you can use the one for with all the dials molded on, and then you've got the clear one there you can put the decals in. So that's the way you can do that. So you've got decals on the reverse side, okay, so you can actually put single decals on the back, or you can just put the single decal on the front. So I'm sure that's what they're saying here. But anyway, if you get the kit, you can go through that and read all that. That is literally all about just doing your instrument panel. You know, great. You've got your levers going, your pull rods going, and everything on the instrument panel there. Again, you could get a photo etch instrument set. You probably don't need it. You've got all the options you need in the kit. You know, this should be a kit you can build out the box beautifully. Control column going in there. And then they're telling you some more painting call-outs. And then we've got bits and pieces going on the cockpit sidewall, and it's showing you here where they all go. So it's nice. It's not just showing you how to do it. It's showing you how it should look when it's all done, both in pictorial and in diagrammatic form. We've got details here on the outside of the cockpit. You can see, again, this is what I was talking about. This is stuff you're probably not going to see. And then you've got all this stuff going on the outside here, all this framework, fuselage supports and parts of the structure. Again, stuff on the back of the bulkhead. Now we're getting into the rump. This is the fuselage. So we've got the wing sections, we've got the fuselage sections, we've got all the formers going in. And as you can see here, we've got all the formers going into the fuselage, and you're not going to see any of it once it's done. You've got all the fuel tanks, you've got the wing tanks, you've got the centre tank there. And this is how it's going to go through. So I'm going to try and push through now, push on a bit now and get through this a bit quicker. And you can see you've got all this detail going inside the tank, drill a 1mm hole. All the detail going in here. Okay, fuel tank going in there. That's going to be an armoured, looks like an armoured, oh no, the armoured plates there. This is just the front bulkhead. And then we've got the inner fuselage there. You can see we've got some radio gear going in. There's a former going in. And then we're putting some more formers in. We've got stuff, all gear going in between those formers. You can see it's all going in, getting all closed up. There are access panels in the side of the fuselage which are open, but you'll probably choose to glue those closed. But if you want to have it in a diorama with all that open and have cables hanging out and guys working on it, then the option is there, which is something you don't get in most kits these days. And I know a lot of you will say, what's the point in putting all that in and painting it all? Well, what's the point in modelling? So here we go. We've got some stuff going in here. Tail bulkhead and link rod. That's going to be the link rod for the rudder, I would imagine. So all that's going in there. We've got the tail wheel. That's how it's all going to look after it's assembled. All the RLM2, lovely colour. And then the tail wheel with the tail piece going on there, which is all looking lovely. And then we're bringing the fuselage halves together. Stored ladder. Okay, so you can have it stored or open. So that's going to be the access ladder for the cockpit, I should imagine. And then we're going to move on to the right side. So we've got all these panels here, so we can have these open or close, leave the display on inside. Assemble the vertical stabilizer and then the rudder. Let's show you how it all goes there. Then we're going on to the canopy rails, showing you here again how they go, how they look. Fitting the wings in. You've got all these little sprue connection points here. You've got to cut out in the red, you can see down there. And then we're fitting the wings, and you've got all this wing spar assembly. So you've got your spars and your ribs all in there. And as you can see, when you build the model up, you've got this sort of skeleton of an aircraft. And then you're going to add all your internal detail. You've got your magazines for your guns. You've got MG17 wall and ribs, so more bits and pieces going in there. Fuel tanks going in, all sandwiched around the mountings in there, so you can see they're all fitted in. And then you've got your MG17 machine guns going in. They're going to sit in there all beautifully. Then you've got your magazines going in. And then you've got, what's this, is the top view. This is going to be some more magazines, I'm guessing. Fuel tanks, giving you all the colour call-outs there. And then we're on to the wings. Okay, so we've got wings here. We've got engines, engine nacelles, undercarriage and everything. And this is how it's all going to look when you've completed it. Okay, and now we're going to fit the upper and lower wing halves. So you're just going to put the upper wing halves, and all that detail you've put in and painted, you're going to hide it all. Or you could cut a panel open, have the fuel tank displayed. You could make a crash diorama. You know, because it's all there, you've got the option to build what you want to build, how you want to build it. You could build this as crashed into an old building, half the wings been ripped off, the fuel tanks hanging out, you've got your gun bays hanging out. You know, whereas with most kits you wouldn't get that. You'd have to scratch build it all. Telling you to use extra thin cement here to fit the undercarriage legs into the undercarriage bays. Again, doing the same on this side. And then we've got engine bulkheads going in here. We've got machine guns going into the wings there, showing you how they'll go with all the colour call-outs. Same again now on the left-hand side. And then we've got the outer surface plate, they're calling it. It's the upper wing outer surface plate. There you go, going on, covering all that detail up. And then you've got the insert of the barrel of the MG. This is the side of the fuselage, so you can have your gun portion out there, or you could have this panel removed in a diorama, that chucked in the back of a truck or something. You know, the sky's the limit. Then we've got the armoured panel going on the front. This here, what's that? What's J31? I don't know what that is. That's interesting. We've got that panel going in there. You can see all the inside of it is painted here in RLM63 by the look of it, or RLM66 is it? And then we're going to build up the engine cowlings now, so we've got all the internal detail, putting the engines onto their bulkheads, fitting the nacelles. Okay, it's showing you here how it all looks, and then doing the same on the other side. Main landing gear doors, they're all going in with the little supports and everything. You've got all the detail in there, which is lovely. Radiators going in, and then we've got engine exhausts. They're in halves, so get them together early in your build. Then when they're dry and everything, you can clean up the backs and get them all nice and seamless. And we've got our undercarriage legs here with the wheels going in. Oleo's going on there. And then we've got engine cowlings. Now this is interesting because, as I said, there's so many of them in the kit. I'm interested to know what's what. So maybe you only use certain ones of them, maybe the others are for different aircraft with the same engine. So there's your cowlings going together. You've got the radiators going, or grills going into the bottom. We've got some flaps there which you can have open or closed, which is a nice touch. They're giving you all the different angles. The wing should be approximately 4 degrees dihedral. The undercarriage is 94 degrees from vertical. They're telling you here that the caster on the wheel should be 69 degrees, and this is 101.5 degrees, so you can get all your alignments absolutely spot on. You've got your tailplanes going on there with your elevators, and then here this is the final fitting, so you've got your ailerons and everything going on. As you can see, there's a picture of the finished model there. And there we go, you get your ailerons going on with all the actuators and everything. We've got covers here for our guns. We've got the cannon going in underneath. So there's the open, you can have open hatches or closed hatches. Okay, and then you've got your cannon support racks, a great big cannon going in the bottom. I would really suggest buying a brass cannon barrel for this. So that's going to go up underneath. And then you've got it going into that pod there, and then that's going to go on and cover it all up in there. So that's going up underneath. Where are the bomb racks? So we've got propellers going on here with the spinners, you've got the canopy going on. I'm wondering where are the bomb racks. Okay, so the bomb racks are already in the wings. There we go, there's the bomb racks. And then we're going to add some bombs under the wings. So that'll be a nice touch, get those weathered up and make them look lovely. And as I say, I think we've only got one marking option with this. Yes, we have. So there are aftermarket decals available. You can give it a splinter camo system if you want to. But at the moment you've only got this one here. So this is from Libya, February 1943. But it was basically a tank buster. It was built and designed to go out there and smash tanks. So, and we've got talks all about here about using our window masks. And you can see images here of the finished kit. And we've got all our decal placements on there. And then finally in the manual you've got your sprue callouts here. They are numbered, and they're numbered so you can actually see them without a magnifying glass. Down here, I think this is Japanese market only, you can actually buy additional sprues. So that's a nice touch. So that's it. So that's the instruction manual. So that's like a review in itself, but I wanted to give that some really good coverage because I know that some of you, or a lot of you, will have even heard of this manufacturer, and it's nice to see that when you build one of these kits, it's a proper you know, really enjoyable process you're going through. It's not just following step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's really, really fun. And they're talking about the real aircraft and everything and bits and pieces and the reason things are like they are and why they're designed that way. So let's have a look. In fact, I'm going to leave this to the morning now, but it'll be the same video for you. Let's have a look at some sprues. Okay then, so it's the next day now, and we're going to look at some plastic. We've had a good long look at the instructions. I've decided not to handbag any of this for obvious reasons, and because of the colour of the plastic, I'm struggling a little bit with the camera. I know nothing about photography, so struggling a little bit there, but never mind. So first sprue out the bag, right out the box. I've got here, these are obviously the fuselage halves. We've got the tail planes here and the elevators. So we've got some nice actuator detail on those elevators there, you can see that down in there. And we can see on the fuselage, we don't have any rivet detail at all, but we do have some nice panel detail. And we can also see in there, we've got some shrink marks. And these are because of all the ribs they've put inside. So all the detail they've added inside has actually given us shrink marks on the outside, or sink marks should I say. But I think that's going to add to the effect because it's probably going to give it a bit of a sort of stress skin effect. You can see around the front here we've got all the detail. This is where one of the guns is going to sit in there, and you've got the fairing that goes around it here. So and you can see on the inside we've got, as I say, we've got all the rib detail in there and everything. All looking very nice indeed. So yeah, sorry for not unbagging it, but the thing is I've got so many kits now in the stash. There's so many that are unbagged, and as you know, if I unbag this, open the bags, it reduces its value by about 50%. So should I decide to sell it down going down the road, and I'm not getting any younger, it's going to be worth nothing. So there we go. So this is the engine sprue. So we've got here, we've got a pair of spinners on here. We've got some bulkheads, and then we've got the backs of the spinners there. We've got some exhaust pipes down here. Obviously props, one-piece props, so that's like they've got to worry about putting the blades in and setting them. This is going to be part of the engine mounting system, and this looks like also some alternative exhausts, because this one has the straight exhaust, but there's lots of parts I'm noticing on these sprues that we're not going to use. So there's obviously, they intended or are intending to bring out different versions of this kit. So you can see you've got a lot on there, got some lovely detail on the bulkhead there, and you can see the engine bearers there are nice as well. So all very nice, got some nice grill detail on those intakes. You might decide to change those for a bit of photo etch mesh, which would look a lot better. But there we go, that's that one. There are a lot of sprues in this kit, so be warned. This is more cockpit parts. So you can see here we've got our two alternate instrument panels, okay, which we've got decals for, and then I think this is the floor here, or maybe the rear bulkhead, and then this is the rear bulkhead, so that's the floor there. We've got more panels there, we've got some greeblies, we've got our rudder pedals there, you can see the rudder pedals there, underneath my, or behind my finger, in front of my finger should I say. Some more greeblies and mountings and bits and pieces. And we've got some, looks like machine gun inserts there, which are very detailed, very nice indeed. So there's a lot to it. So moving forward, we've got some panelling here, more panelling. We've got our fin and our rudder there. Got some more panelling there. Looks like a tail cone piece. I think a lot of this doesn't get used. I think a lot of it is alternate. So you can see on there you've got all the lovely parts. Again, no rivet detail. Typical for Zoukei-Mura, you've got a tiny bit of rivet detail on the end of that fin there, but that's it. So, and the thing is, we all love our rivet detail, but in reality, if you look at an aircraft, any aircraft, except for something with, you know, positive rivets, raised rivets, if you look at it from 3 feet away, you probably won't see any rivets anyway. So here we've got an engine sprue. We've got 2 of these in the kit. So you've got your front and rear radial cylinders there. You can see they've even got depictions of the crankshaft, the con rods, and you can see inside there they've got the pistons. Okay, so you've got your pistons on your con rods in there. Okay, so this is the Zoukei-Mura, make the actual thing and then you build it how you want. A load of intake pipes here, gearbox parts, and then we've got exhaust sections here. So it's all beautifully detailed, all the ribbings there beautifully. So if I build this, you'll get to see it all painted and everything, but it is very, very nice indeed. Okay, so as I said, there's two of those. Now if you remember in the instructions, we talked about this earlier, we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs of intakes, and we've got 2 of these sprues. So we have enough parts, cowlings, we have enough parts to make 10 cowlings. Now I've looked in the instructions and I think it uses 8 and 9, which is this one here. So you're going to use those 2 there and those 2 there. Okay, sorry, those 2 there and those 2 there. So all of these are spares. And you can see on here the differences. Now, the ones they're telling us to use has the straight vented intake on the underside. Okay, but in this slat there's a bridging piece, and then this is the same but without the bridging piece there. Okay, and then you've got this one here, which is, this one has the bridging piece in the slat but with the raised intake, as this one here. This one's got the straight unbridged piece with the raised intake, and then this one here has no lower slat. So there's obviously a load of different options you could build from this kit. So if you know the aircraft well and you know you can do your research, you know, even though there's only one decal option in the kit, you could probably build different aircraft from it. So here we've got a machine gun, and it looks like ammo can parts. So it looks like that's part of the machine guns there. We've got some barrels there. They're not drilled, they're not slide molded. Hang on. They have indentations on the end, so I don't know how they've done that. But they're not drilled, they just have an indentation in them. But they are very nicely detailed. Very nicely detailed indeed, and you can see there's the guns there. We've got some oxygen bottles by the look of it. Okay, so that's all very, very nice. Control surfaces, that's going to be flaps, ailerons. That's all nice again. Lots of engraved detail but no rivet detail. This is going to be nose section, so this is the outer walls of the armoured cockpit here. Not sure what this is here. This is going to be the belly, and then here I've noticed we've got 2 lots of these. These are the nose panel, the side panels. These actually go over these, and you can see one is faired over, okay, and one has the guns there open. So obviously there was a version of this where the side mounted machine guns were faired over. So those who know about the aircraft, you'll know that you can actually build what you want from the box. There's another big sprue here, so we've got lots and lots going on. We've got some fuselage formers here, fuel tank base, more formers here, more formers, tail wheel there, radio, greeblies, bits and pieces. Looks like part of the main spar, looks like a radio shelf or something, but all very nicely done, all very nicely detailed, and you're never going to see any of it. You see that fuel tank there is lovely. Okay, so you may decide to not put any of this in and keep it all for spares for your sci-fi projects or whatever, I don't know. So here's the beautiful great big cannon. That is slide moulded. You can see you've got the belly pan that's going to go over it. We've got all the mountings for it, some oxygen bottles there. So quick look around that sprue. We can see all very, very nice indeed. Beautifully moulded, and you can see on the end we've got the slide moulding on the cannon there. Very lovely. There's another engine sprue, we've already seen that one. Here's our bomb sprue. So we've got a bomb rack, a big old bomb, and then we've got some smaller bombs over here, and some bomb hangers, and then some smaller bomb hangers there. So it's all in there. Nothing really much in the way of detail to show you other than on that bomb rack there's some detail on there. But yeah. So we've got some engine nacelles here, the undercarriage bays, and some internal parts for there. Again, we've got some rivet detail on them, but nothing very much. Okay, but there is rivet detail there. We've got some lovely pressed steel or pressed aluminium detail on there, which looks lovely. Okay, we've got internal detail on those, what looks like doors as well. Ejector pin marks, unfortunately, but they are very small and very shallow, so shouldn't much of a problem. Big old wing section. As I said when we looked at the instructions, we've got all the internal detail on the wings. So if you wanted to do an open diorama or a crash scene or whatever, it's going to be very easy for you because you've got all this there. We've also got fuel tanks here, which is a nice touch. So yeah, all very nice indeed. And you can see we've got some lovely detail on those fuel tank fillers. So if you wanted to open up the hashes and have it in a filling diorama, then the sky's the limit. Got a undercarriage sprue here, so we don't have metal legs, we just have plastic legs, but they are very, very stout, so they're going to be absolutely fine. Wheels look very nice. There's no detail on the tyres to speak of, so you may want to go aftermarket on there. But we've got the typical German looped brake lines there. Very nice indeed. The wheels look lovely. They're not very big either when you look at my finger, they're not very large. So here we go. Then we've got this sprue here, which is your main centre section for your wing underneath there, and then you've got the inner upper sections of the wings, and then we've got the outer lower section and upper sections of the wing. Again, you can see we've got some fuel hatch detail on there, which is nice. There's no real rivet detail at all. Nice to see they've got the fuel hatches the right way round. If you look at the Revell 132nd Hs-129 Yoo-hoo, they've got the fuel filler hatches the wrong way round, so that if they were unlatched they would blow open. So it's easy, I've done it, you can actually cut a slot of the engine and turn them round. Again, you can see on here we've got some rivet detail there on the inner wing sections. Try and get this in the light for you. You can see you've got some lovely rivet detail on there, and all very nice indeed. And the lower section there, you've got some rivet detail around those undercarriage bays and everything. This is the interior of the undercarriage here. So yeah, very nice indeed. Back in this box. And then finally we've got the clear sprue, and as we can see, the clear parts are very nice indeed. If you look at my finger in behind there, you can see very, very nice indeed. No protective sheeting on them or anything like Meng do, and now HK models, but all looks very nice. As long as you keep them at the top of your box, you should be absolutely fine. So you've got some armoured screen there, armour plating there. Two more instrument panels. If you remember in the instructions, we've got the option to have the individual dials put on there from behind. Or you've got the option to use the plastic ones and have the one go on the front, or indeed you can paint it all. But there you go. So very nice indeed, lovely clear parts. I'm not sure what the rest of all this is here, but no doubt it'll all become clear if it's built. So there we go, that's that. As I say, sorry for not debagging it, but I'm sure modelers out there understand. But yeah, very, very nice kit indeed. Lots to it, lots of fun building. We've even got fuel lines in here, look. Or is that cables? That's cables and actuators there for the ailerons. You can see it going along there and then turning through its angle there. So very nice indeed. Lots of detail that you're never going to see. But if you want to open it up, it's there if you want it. Beautiful bombs. Engine detail, which is gorgeous. That lovely cannon to go underneath, and then we've got all the fuselage internals there, just lovely. Something I didn't pick up on, there's that very fragile framing there for the rear of the fuselage. You can see it there, and it's got a big plastic protector there on it. That's all lovely, make sure that doesn't get damaged. We've got our front fuselage nose pieces, ailerons and flaps. And then we've got machine guns. I would suggest brass barrels for these, they would look a lot better, although the moulding on those is very nice indeed. Engine nacelles, as we've talked about those a lot, more engine parts. And then we've got fin, rudder, all very nice. Cockpit interior, lots of little greeblies and bits and pieces. Propellers, bulkheads, engine mounts, grills, exhausts. Lovely. And then finally, that lovely little fuselage. It looks like it's not going to be that big a model. It looks like it's going to be sort of 12 inches long and a wingspan of not much bigger, maybe 14, 15 inches. So it's going to be a decent sized model. It's going to be a little bit smaller than Mosquito, I think. So there we go, guys. So that's that. Thanks for watching. As I say, sorry for not unbagging it. It is an expensive kit, and if I wanted to sell it, you know, nobody wants to buy a kit that's been unbagged. So as you know, most of my reviews I do unbag them. I've got 3 kit. I've got another 4 kits on order. Two of which I'm hoping to get today. Another one I know is coming tomorrow, so I'll get a review out on that tomorrow. And I've got another one which is going to be around the middle of October time, and they've all got a theme about them. So look out for those reviews coming up, and they are all cheaper kits, so I will unbag them and they will be proper reviews. One of them is the Border Models BF109 G6, and the reason I've bought it is, as I said before, I want to do a review of that kit and look at it as a plastic model. So I'm not looking at accuracy, I'm looking at the quality of the plastic, quality of the instructions, engineering, you know, foolproofing, stuff like that, in readiness for that Lancaster. So we'll see how Border Models have done with that. I suspect they haven't done much with the moulds, because I think Wingnut Wings were nearly there, but you don't know. If sort of Wingnut Wings didn't have the tail planes finished and you see a massive difference in the quality, then there may be some rework required. Anyway, I'm waffling. I'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching, and look out for my next reviews coming up. Bye for now.